Okay, this is part 17 of Nos4a2. Haverville. Chris McQueen. Okay, sorry. Chris McQueen took off the autumn Vic began high school. Her freshman year was already off to a rocky start. She was pulling straight C's except for art. Her art teacher had put a comment on her quarterly summary, 6 hastily scrawled words: Victoria's gifted, needs to concentrate, and given her a B. Vic drew her way through every study hall. She tattooed herself in Sharpie to irritate her mother and impress boys. She had done a book report in comic strip form to the amusement of all the other kids who sat in the back of the class with her. Vic was getting an A+ in entertaining the other burnouts. Raleigh had been replaced by a Schwinn with silver and pink tassels on the handlebars. She didn't give a fuck about the Schwinn, never wrote it. It embarrassed her. When Vic walked in, home from an after-school detention, she found her mother on the ottoman in the living room, hunched over, her elbows on her knees and her head in her hands. She had been crying, still was, water leaking from the corners of her bloodshot eyes. She was an ugly old woman when she wept. "Mom, what happened?" "Your father called. He isn't going to come home tonight." "Mom," Vic said, letting her backpack slide off her shoulder and fall to the floor. "What's that mean? Where's he going to be?" "I don't know. I don't know where, and I don't know why." Vic stared at her, incredulous. "What do you mean you don't know why?" Vic asked her. "He isn't coming home because of you, Mom, because he can't stand you, because all you ever do is bitch at him, stand there, and bitch when he's tired and wants to be left alone." "I've tried so hard. You don't know how hard I've tried to accommodate him. I can keep beer in the fridge and dinner warm when he gets home late. But I can't be 24 anymore, and that's what he really doesn't like about me. That's how old the last one was, you know?" There was no anger in her voice. She sounded weary, that was all. "What do you mean, the last one?" "The last girl he was sleeping with," Linda said. "I don't know who he's with right now, though, or why he decided to take off with her. It's not as if I've ever put him in a position where he had to choose between home and the girl on the side. I don't know why this time is different. She must be some nice little piece." When Vic spoke again, her voice was hushed and trembling. "You lie so bad. I hate you. I hate you, and if he's leaving, I'm going with him." "But Vicky," said her mother in that strange drifting tone of exhaustion, "he doesn't want you with him. He didn't just leave me, you know. He left us." Vic turned and fled, slamming the door shut behind her. She ran into the early October afternoon. The light came to a slow slant through the oaks across the street, gold and green, and how she loved that light. There was no light in the world like you saw in New England in early fall. She was up and on her embarrassing pink bike. She was riding, crying, but hardly aware of it, her breath coming in gasps. She was around the house and under the trees. She was riding downhill, the wind whining in her ears. The 10-speed was no Raleigh tough burner, and she felt every rock and root under its slim tires. Vic told herself she was going to find him. She would go to him now. He loved her, and if she wanted to stay with him, her father would find a place for her, and she would never come home, never have to listen to her mother bitch at her about wearing black jeans, dressing like a boy, hanging out with burnouts. She just had to ride down the hill and the bridge would be there. But it wasn't. The old dirt road ended at the guardrail overlooking the Merrimack River. Upriver, the water was as black and smooth as smoked glass. Below it in torment, shattering against boulders in a white froth. All that remained of the shorter way were 3 stained concrete pylons rising from the water, crumbling at the top to show the rebar. She rode hard at the guardrail, willing the bridge to appear, but just before she hit the rail, she dumped her bike on purpose, skidded across the dirt in her jeans. She did not wait to see if she had hurt herself, but leaped up, gripped the bike in both hands, and flung it over the side. It hit the long slope of the embankment, bounced, and crashed into the shallows where it got stuck. One wheel protruded from the water, revolving madly. Bats dived in the gathering dusk. Vic limped north, following the river with no clear destination in mind. Finally, on an embankment by the river under 495, she dropped into bristly grass among litter. There was a stitch in her side. Cars whined and hummed above her, producing a vast shivery harmonic on the massive bridge spanning the Merrimack. She could feel their passage, a steady, curiously soothing vibration in the earth beneath her. She didn't mean to go to sleep there, but for a while, 20 minutes or so, Vic dozed, carried into a state of dreamy semi-consciousness by the thunderous roar of motorcycles, blasting past in twos and threes, a whole gang of riders out in the late, warm night of the fall, going wherever their wheels took them.